Hey guys, it's me, Mario. Let me move the camera down a bit. There we go. And today we're going to continue Rokk, the Walking Mountain. Chapter 3, The Dark Wizard Speaks. How y'all doing today? Hope you're doing well. Let's get this reading started. Tom reached for the hilt of his sword, but his fingers closed around thin air. No, he cried, glancing at the other side of the campfire. There, glinting, Tom's weapon lay uselessly on the ground. I don't have my sword. I'll get it, Helena said. I'm closer. She scrambled over to where Tom had been sleeping. Immediately, one of the bats broke from the circling formation and swooped down through the air to swipe a cruel claw at her face. Elena! Tom cried, warning his friend. Look out! She threw both hands over her head, rolling forwards to grab Tom's sword. The bat landed on her arm. Elena screamed in agony, and Tom saw thin streams of blood seeping from where the bat's claws had pierced her skin. He tried to run to her, but the swarm of bats descended screeching. Their leathery wings flapped against Tom's body, and their claws tangled in his hair. He dropped to his knees and fought the bats off. Get away, he cried out, but it was impossible. Glancing up, Tom saw Elena struggling to shake off the bat that still clung to her bloodied limb. She dropped Tom's sword, which clattered to the ground. Here is Elena struggling to get Tom's sword. She dropped Tom's sword, which clattered to the ground, and kicked the hilt, sending the weapon skidding through the dirt. It came to a stop at Tom's feet. Tom scooped it up with his right hand. He almost dropped it again. Crying out with pain, he glanced down at his hand and saw that the fingers were badly swollen. He glanced down at his hand and saw that the fingers were badly swollen and had turned a darker shade of green. It was the poison coursing through his blood. But Elena needs me, he thought desperately. He could not give in to the pain. All of his friends needed him. Storm pawed the ground, tossing his head against the bats that were swarming around him. Silver growled as he leaped into the air and snapped his jaws. The bat's leathery wings skimmed the air above his head. Clutching his sword in both hands, Tom swung it left and right, up and down. He didn't stop moving and felt his blade connect with thick leathery wings and furry bodies. Here's Tom fighting the bats. His muscles began to scream with the effort of keeping the weapon above his head. But Tom wouldn't stop thrusting his sword against the dark cloud of enemies. Finally, the bat swarm scattered, screeching in fear and rage. Tom strode over to Elena. Oh, excuse me. A vivid streak of blood ran down her elbow. "Get it off me!" she cried as the bat still clung to her arm. With a yell, Tom swung his sword. The bat screeched and released its grip on Elena's arm. It joined the other bats and they flew away in a pulsating dark cloud. Their angry cries filling the air. Finally, silence descended and the bats were gone. But for how long? Tom helped Elena to her feet. Silver bounded over to his mistress, whining anxiously. There, Elena said, patting her wolf's head. No harm done. Tom wasn't so sure. My phoenix talon will heal those cuts, Tom said, inspecting Elena's arm. The scratches ran deep. Later, Elena. Dry mouth. That's better. Much better. Later, Elena told him, pointing up to the sky. Tom looked up. The bats had already returned. They circled in the air, slow and menacing, silhouetted against the morning sun. Tom raised the sword. "Come down and fight," he shouted, a low voice full of evil murked. Sounded in mirth. Bleh. Let me read that again. A low voice full of evil mirth sounded on the wind. Tom and Elena looked at each other. "Valmel," Elena whispered faintly. "Show yourself," Tom cried. The Dark Wizard laughed. "Do you really think I'd waste my energy in a sword fight with you? Besides, you will need more than a sword to overcome your next challenge." "While there's blood in my veins," Tom shouted, "I'll succeed, and when I free the last beast, I am coming for you." The Dark Wizard's laughter grew louder as the swarm of bats arranged themselves into a long, thin line. "I look forward to that day," said Valmel. "Until then..." With an eerie, piercing shriek, the line of bats surged forward. Tom threw up his sword as he was struck by wings and claws. It was all he could do to stay on his feet. Then the bats swept through their camp and disappeared over the horizon. The silence was heavy. Tom seized his sword, looking at Helena, who was comforting Silver. "That's the last time I ever leave my sword out of reach," he vowed. "We're all alive," said Elena. "That's the main thing." Her voice trailed off. Don't know why there's an arm missing. On the trail. word. She was looking at something beyond Tom's shoulder. "Oh, Tom," she whispered, raising a hand to point. Tom spun around on his heels. "Storm!" he cried out, running to his stallion. The horse's legs were quivering, his flanks heaving as his eyes rolled back in his head. "What's wrong with him?" Tom asked. Elena's face paled as she arrived at his side. "Oh no. What is it?" Tom said. Elena's fingers soothed back Storm's coat at the side of his neck. There, Tom saw 2 puncture wounds about the same size as bat teeth. The wounds were new and were a raw shade of red. Tom felt anger flood his chest. "Storm's been bitten." And that was chapter 3. The Dark Wizard Speaks. Well, that was eventful. Well, alright. That was chapter 4? No, chapter 3. That was chapter 3 of Beast Quest. Rokk, the Walking Mountain. And I hope you guys enjoyed me reading through it. How's everyone doing, by the way? Hope everyone is doing good. I've been busy, so been busy with art and other stuff. And I uploaded a new dragon to the Great Dragon book as well, so if you guys are interested in that, go check it out. But anyway, hope you guys like, subscribe, hit the bell if you guys are interested in more Beast Quest videos. And maybe more Dragon Book entries. Because I have like 10 dragons in like the backlog that I still need to do. So, hope you guys are excited for that. And of course more Beast Quest, as always. Well, I hope you guys like, subscribe, hit the bell if you guys are interested in more of that. Yeah, I already said my outro and I'm still going. Alright. Yeah. See you guys all in the next video. Bye.